Trump's conflicts of interest are rearing their ugly head again. A private prison group moved its annual conference to the Trump National Doral Golf Club in Miami this year in an apparent ongoing effort to align more closely with President Trump. The Washington Post reported that GEO Group, a private prison company, has ramped up its political spending, donating millions of dollars over the past 2 years to support Trump, including donating to super PACs and the inaugural committee, making campaign donations and lobbying. GEO Group, which owns and manages about 140 prisons and detention centers, moved its conference to the Trump golf course this year. One of Trump's earliest moves in his presidency was to roll back Obama-era plans to reduce the use of private prisons. Wow. GEO has benefited from this action, scoring the Trump administration's first contract for an immigration detention center, according to the Post. So here's yet another example of open corruption. How can anybody deny that there's going to be favoritism that goes on as a result of this? How can anybody deny that they're buying policies that would help them and help their bottom line? Why else? Why on earth would a private prison company move their conference to a Trump golf course? We all know how this works. The way that this works is they end up giving money to Trump. They give money to his administration, his family in this case, because now they're supposedly directly running his businesses. But either way, money gets in their pocket, and then in return for that, favors are handed out. And he's already shown that he's willing to play ball. Why else would he, as they just cited here, roll back the Obama-era plans to reduce the use of private prisons? We've discussed this before, but there's really no ideological reason to be in favor of private prisons. Because think about the way it would work if prisons are privatized. Very simply, now you have companies that want more people locked up because that's the way they make more money. So naturally, you're going to lobby politicians to try to get more things illegal so you could put more asses in your beds so you can make more money and pad the bottom line. So there's a giant incentive problem with private prisons. So there's no philosophical or theoretical or ideological reasons to say, hey, I'm in favor of private prisons. So then why on earth would Donald Trump and the Republicans move in the direction of supporting private prisons? It is because of money. It is because of corruption. It is because they get their campaigns financed by these people. And in the case of Trump, you get a lot of money personally from them. And that's another angle of the corruption of Donald Trump that's not brought up enough. So we've discussed how it was a lie when he said, I'm self-funding my campaign. That's what I'm doing, self-funding my campaign. But another way in which he's corrupt that many other politicians are not corrupt in this way because they have no avenue of being corrupt in this way is that Trump has so many private businesses and Trump is in so much personal debt that people can hold that over his head. Like, it wasn't reported nearly enough, for example, that Trump is over $100 million in personal debt to Wall Street and big banks. Okay, so that's a way in which he's beholden to corporations that even other massively corrupt politicians are not beholden. So he has the double whammy. He has it through campaign contributions, even though he says he doesn't, and he also has it through personal debt. And now you have this angle, which is, corporations or industries frequenting his golf courses, his businesses, and then using that as leverage on him. Another thing is Saudi Arabia, for example. There are people from Saudi Arabia who visit the U.S., they stay at one of his hotels, they pay him an exorbitant amount of money that, is not what it would cost to stay at one of his hotels. And then again, lo and behold, he ends up doing favors for Saudi Arabia. So that's the way that this kind of stuff works. And anybody who looks at it and doesn't come to that conclusion has their head firmly planted in their ass.